When you don't plan anything, weeds grow. And that's how our mind works. Life gives to the givers and take from the takers. That's the law of success. That's the law of life. You cannot improve something you don't measure. So financial literacy, and it's extremely important skill you must master if you want to be rich.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 and 9. From my top 10, top 10, 9 and 9. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Dan Lok, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Prioritize your time.
We all only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. You cannot actually manage time because we all have the same amount of time. However, what you can manage is your priorities. What are the important things you got to focus on? What are the important things that would move the needle, that will help you move closer to your goals? The problem is school never taught us how do we manage our priorities, right? You're doing your homework, you're taking exams, you're taking care of your family, you're doing a bunch of different things, but most people, we never take the time to slow down and look at what we do and ask ourselves, okay, why am I even doing this at all? What is the payoff of these activities? We never ask ourselves those profound questions. And at the end of the day, priority management really is self-management. How do you manage yourself? And if every single day you can manage your time efficiently and effectively, and you focus on just a handful of things, right? There are 2 or 3 things that you know if you keep doing that consistently would get you the results that you want. So rich people understand, they realize the value of their time, and that's why they avoid what I call minimum wage activities. If someone can get the job done, costing you less than what your time is worth, we delegate it.
Rule number 2, protect your mind.
You have to understand the universe in some way is kind of a little bit rigged against us. That's correct. Let me prove to you. Here's a garden. Now, when you plant roses, what do you get? What do you get? Comment below. You get roses, right? Now, what happens if you don't plant anything and you don't take time to even take care of the garden? You don't even pay attention to it. What happens? Weeds grow. So it is not the case that if you don't plant something, nothing will happen. No, it's rather the case when you don't plant anything, weeds grow. And that's how our mind works. So if you're not constantly feeding your mind, I call that mind feed. If you don't constantly feed your mind with positive motivation, inspiration, something that moves you towards your goals, practical, useful information to feed your mind. If you're not doing that constantly, weeds grow. And that's why personally, I don't watch news. Because most news are nothing more than negativity, and they are just designed to grab your attention, right? They're designed, it's just sensations. It doesn't actually do much to your life. It doesn't add value to your life. It doesn't make you a better person, except it scares the heck out of you. You watch enough news, you don't even want to go out, right? You don't want to do anything. So I don't watch news. If it's important enough, guess what? My team, someone would tell me, I'll eventually find out. But most of the time, I don't know what is going on. I focus on what I do. I want to protect this. I want to protect my filter. I'm very careful about how I view the world and how I upgrade my filter.
Rule number 3, don't be complacent.
A millionaire, once you reach a certain stage of success, once you are comfortable, it's easy to get complacent, right? Just like my mentor said, default is a. When you are more successful than the people around you, like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to work so hard anymore, right? Think about it. If you are already living in the house that you want, you're already driving the car that you want, you're already taking the vacation that you want, you're staying in the best hotels, you've got a comfortable life. If all your motivation is based on just things, well, you lose motivation real quick. From my observation to billionaires, money is simply a way for them to keep score. Not because they are greedy, because they enjoy what they're doing and they are good at it, and that's why they get paid a lot of money doing what they do. You see poor people say, well, you know what, if I have that kind of money, I would never work another day in my life. Well, with that kind of mentality, chances are that's why you'll never have that kind of money. Because you are motivated just by money itself. Steve Jobs said it best. I was worth $1 million when I was 23. I was worth $10 million when I was 24. And I was worth $100 million when I was 25. But they're not that important anyway. I never did it for the money.
Rule number 4, invest in relationships.
Wealth comes from relationship. You notice a lot of self-made millionaires, even billionaires, they're very well connected. They know a lot of people. A lot of people know them. They have a lot of friends they could call on. There was one person that I saw on Facebook, and he's always posting photo of him with other like celebrity or expert or different types of people and trying to look good and trying to make himself look better than he actually is. And someone like that believes that relationship is, like that. That's not meaningful relationship. That's not what I'm talking about. I'll give you a perfect example. Instead of thinking as relationship, I want you to think of that as what I call relational capital. Relational capital. Think of a bank. Think of this as a relationship bank. Now, if you go to a bank without making any deposit, you go to the bank and say, give me some money. What's that called? It's called robbery because you have not made any deposit. So think of this relationship bank. You need to deposit money first before you withdraw any money out of a relationship bank. It's exactly the same way in real life. You need to be able to add value, add value, add value, add value. Keep depositing money into that bank first. Now, sometimes it might take you days, weeks, years before you make a withdrawal. You need to be okay with that. Without making any deposit, you want to do a withdrawal, you will fail, right? If you just deposit a little bit and you want to do a withdrawal right away, you'll also fail. You need to keep adding value, helping them in advance first before you ask anything in return. Now you build up that reserve, that relational capital. So when you need to withdraw it, you've got a ton of relational capital that you could withdraw. That is the difference. Where everybody else who are struggling financially, guess what? They want a handout. Give me something. Just because you're successful doesn't make you obligated to help others. It's nice to help others. But approaching successful people that way, approaching millionaires that way, say, give me something. Like they owe you anything. They don't owe you a damn thing. It doesn't work that way. You need to see what you can do for them first. Anyone, like-minded people, successful people, don't go and try to take something. Life is always very fair. Life gives to the givers and take from the takers. That's the law of success. That's the law of life. Hi, this is Dan Lok. I want to share with you a lesson from Evan Carmichael's new book, Built to Serve. This section is about making money from your purpose. You have to embrace that. If you never learn how to make money from your purpose, you'll always end up needing a day job, and your purpose will become a hobby. If that sounds like a great life to you, then I'm happy for you. If not, then you need to figure out a money-making model that makes sense, one that is consistent, one that is significant, one that can pay you so you can quit your job and succeed to the point where you are providing jobs for others and helping even more people. You see, money is nothing more than a byproduct of value creation. The more people that you serve, the more successful that you will be. So to have long-term success is not just built to last or built to sell or even built to scale. It is built to serve. And this book will teach you exactly how to do that.
Rule number 5, understand the money language.
Your financial statements, they are your scorecard. It tells us how well you are doing financially. How well are you managing your money? Now, you may be thinking, well, Dan, are you asking me to be an accountant, like take an accounting course or be a bookkeeper, things like that? No. but you do need to understand the language of money. Financial literacy, that's the language of money. How money works, your balance sheet, your income statement, your cash flow statement. When you look at the statement, you just look at the number and say, oh my God, man, I don't know what's going on, or I'm not making enough money this year in this ball, or I'm having a loss this year in business. Or can you read between the lines? What is it telling me? What's the story? How am I managing my money, right? And you need to understand the basics of some of these vocabularies of money: credit score, return on investment, profit and loss, right? Capital gain, capital loss, depreciation. A lot of these words, that's what you have to understand. You cannot improve something you don't measure. So financial literacy, and it's extremely important skill you must master if you want to be rich.
Rule number 6, practice to negotiate.
Negotiation secret number 1, and that is start with no. Start with no. Instead of going into a scenario, going into a negotiation that, oh, I gotta close this deal, I have to get this deal. The minute you are not attached, the minute you start with no, it's almost like I expect this is gonna go well, but at the same time, I'm not attached. I call that walk away power. The minute you say, you know what? It would be nice if we do this deal, but I'm perfectly okay if we don't do the deal. So the minute you are okay to walk away from the deal, then the other party, the person that you are negotiating with, can feel that, hey, you're not needy, you're not desperate, you're here to work out a win-win deal. And that's very, very good. So start with the no in your mind first, so you're not attached. So that's secret number 1. Secret number 2, and that is always find the hidden motive. In other words, what motivates this person? What motivates this party? Not what they say, hey, this is what I want these things, but deeper. What's the motive behind it, right? What's the motive behind the motive? They might say they want this, they want that, but what is it? They might say, oh, I want this price. Anything less than that, I'm not gonna say yes to. Well, is it price or is it something else? Could it be that if they don't do this deal, there's some kind of deadline, there's urgency that you may not be aware of? So if you take a little bit of time and do your research, or you ask, if you know how to ask good questions, or you just find out maybe from the people around them what motivates this person. What are the hot buttons? Once you find that, when you're going in and you are not attached, but at the same time you've done your homework. Negotiation very often is about doing your homework, right? Whoever does the most amount of homework about the other person, you will have an edge. That's secret number 2. Secret number 3, and that is ask for the moon. Ask for the moon. So imagine you are negotiating about a particular deal. So when you just ask and say, hey, I want this. Well, no, I'm not gonna give you that. Well, I want this. Well, I'm not gonna give you that. Now you are fighting over this one thing, right? It either becomes a yes or no kind of scenario. Instead, when you are asking something, ask for the moon. Meaning this. Let's say there are 10 things. Let's say there are 3 things that you want out of this scenario, right? Out of this negotiation. Don't ask for 3, ask for 5 or 10. So when you're negotiating, you say, okay, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want these 10 things. The other party would be like, they would freak. They were like, no, that's crazy. I'm not gonna give you like these 10 things. You're insane. There's no way. There's no deal to be made here, right? And you're like, well, So what could you do? Well, I'm not gonna give you 10 things. You know, the most I could give you is like 4 things, or 5 things, or 3 things. Good, because those are actually the 3 things that you want in the beginning. So when you ask for the moon, you give them a little bit of leeway to negotiate, to kind of hackle, right? To knowing, hey, you're not gonna get it all, but if you get half of it, you get 1/3 of it, you're happy. And that's what you want in the beginning anyway. That's the outcome that you want, right? So ask for the moon. But when you do it, you gotta practice, right? You gotta practice almost with a straight face, right? You gotta practice when negotiating. It's very, very professional.
Rule number 7, manage your mindset.
The ability to manage your own mind. I call that your mindset skill. Frustration, negativity, fear, envy, depression, limiting belief, procrastination. How do you manage your emotions? How do you manage your mind? You see, you could get all the other 6 skills right, and you can master all other 6 skills, but if you don't have your mindset right, it's not going to work. I've said it many times. The book Napoleon Hill wrote, it's called Think and Grow Rich. Part of thinking is managing your mind. What are you feeding in your mind? How many times do you know exactly what you need to do to accomplish your goal, to achieve results, but you cannot get yourself to do it because of procrastination? Maybe how many times in your life you have opportunities slip through your fingers and you cannot get yourself to step up and take action because of self-limiting belief? Or what about how many times that you know that other people believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself because of self-limiting belief? That's all mindset skill.
Rule number 8, change your vocabulary.
Sometimes I will hear people share their goals with me, and they would say something like this and say, I want to be successful. I want to be successful. Or I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. Well, guess what? What you say becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy. When you say that enough, guess what? You will get very, very good at wanting to be successful. Think of the universe. Think of the universe as kind of like a person. That you are telling the universe, hey, I want to be successful. I want to be a millionaire. The universe is like, great. Your wish is my command. And the universe is like, okay, I'll grant your wishes. So guess what? Your whole life, you're wanting and wanting and wanting and not having. And then you keep asking the universe is like, what the heck do you want? I want to give you what you want. You say you want it, I just give you. You don't say you are, you just say you want. Change your vocabulary. I am successful, not I want to be. I am a great salesperson. I am a great entrepreneur. I'm a great father. I'm a great son, right? I'm a great husband. I'm a great wife. I'm a great daughter. I am a millionaire. Now, I'm not saying that, Dan, are you saying that I go out there and even though I'm struggling, am I lying to people that say I'm a millionaire? No, this is not an external communication. It is an internal communication. What you say to yourself all the time in your mind. Can you see yourself being that? Are your habits, your behaviors, your actions, are they congruent with who you are?
Rule number 9, stop blaming people.
What holds most people back is this one thing, and that is ego. That's right, ego. Now you may be thinking, no, I don't have any ego. What are you talking about? I'm just struggling financially, I don't have money. No, that's not true. You see, ego comes in many disguises. When I was broke, I had many of these egos that are holding me back. The blame ego says, well, it's not my fault. It's the government's fault. It's the economy, right? It's the industry. It's my coworkers. It's my parents. Oh, you know what? I come from a dysfunctional family, and that's why I will never become rich. Or all my friends, oh, that's why I will never become rich. Or because my supervisor, he is holding me back, and that's why I could never become rich. See, the blame ego always says it's someone else's fault. They're always pointing fingers. And remember, when you're pointing finger to someone else, one finger pointing out, guess what? 3 fingers pointing back. Do you have this ego? Do you blame other people? Do you make excuses? Then maybe the one that's holding you back.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is be ready to sacrifice.
There's no 9 to 5. There's no 9 to 9. It is on your mind 24/7. When you take time off, you're not really off. You know what I'm talking about. You're thinking about your business. You're thinking about how to get more customers. You're thinking about your team. You're thinking about your employees. You're thinking about the cash flow problems you have. And you're not going to get more time because in the beginning, if you don't have those business skills, the learning curve is steep. It takes a few years just to get a sense, get a feeling, and try to find out what works in your business, to crack the code, right? Being profitable. And from there, to grow, there's still a long way. Forget the 9 to 5. Forget the 5 days a week. It's 7 days, 24/7. That's the life of an entrepreneur. And if you don't love it, and if that's not in your blood, and you want it so bad, you're not gonna do what it takes. You're not gonna make those sacrifices because it's too damn tough. Warning sign number 5, and that is don't start a business if you don't know how to close, period. I don't care what it is that you do. You wanna get customers, you gotta close. You want better terms for financing, you gotta close. You want better vendors, you gotta close. You want partners to help you to promote your business, you gotta close. If you don't have the ability to close anyone, anytime, if you don't have that closing mentality and you don't have that closing skill, you're not qualified to be in business, period. I don't care what it is that you do. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what products or services that you sell. You need to be able to close.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and you just get motivated, the sign says you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's not good enough, Believe Nation. We got to take action. But when you get motivated and then you create a specific plan of action for when and how you're going to do it, your number jumps from 35% to 91% chance of following through. And when you commit to somebody else, like posting down here in the comments below, that number jumps to 95%. I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below so you can follow through and I can celebrate you.
When was the first time that you got it, that you're like, oh, I need money. I need money to survive. I need money to do whatever. I need money to solve this problem. I need money in order to do this X or Y thing. And suddenly, finally, I'm having a little bit of money. I'm having a little bit of success. I wanted to show off. I want to show people that, hey, you know what? I am smart, that I am somebody. I'm not the invisible kid in high school. Look at me. Look at how good I am. Like I'm better than you. It was all ego driven. It was all pride driven. I was getting a new car every year. I was buying all kinds of stuff that I don't need. If you really think about why you want money, and you might want all these things, but my guess is when you go deeper, you actually go deeper. I believe we're actually going after a certain feeling that I want. A certain feeling that you want. Now you may be thinking, no, Dan, I don't care about the materialistic things. No, you're still going after something. Maybe you want the freedom. You want to travel. You want to be able to work from home. You want to be able to impact other people. You want to be able to help the charity that you want to support. There's something that you're after. You're just going after it in a different way. Does that make sense? We're after certain emotions that money could provide for us. So what happens is, then we want to buy those things. We want to buy things that gives us those emotions to make us feel good. And that's how most people end up spending money we don't have, buying things that we don't need to impress the people that we don't even freaking like. And that's what I did for a period of time, for a long period of time. I thought that's what it is. You have money, you spend it. Right? You buy things, you buy cool things, and you buy the next thing, and you think that next thing would give you that feeling, that emotion that you are craving for. Not there. And you think, no, maybe that next thing would be it, and it's still not it. Right? And I was chasing these emotions. Okay, if I do this and do that, then I will finally get it. What I didn't recognize is that's actually not how it works. The habit is if you always want to buy things to make yourself feel better, to be validated, to prove other people wrong, you'll always be poor. Instead, if you feel good about yourself, you have a healthy self-image. You don't care about these things. You buy these things not because you want to prove somebody wrong, because you want to show off, you want to do whatever. You buy them simply because you like them. You buy them because you enjoy them. It gives you comfort. And money is simply a tool. It gives you comfort. It gives you peace of mind, right? It gives you time. Yes, money allows you to buy time, allows you to have more choices in life. You could say no to things because you don't really need the money. So think about in your own life, how much money you spend, be very honest, you spend to impress others. And instead of spending that money to impress, what if you spend that money to invest? Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want 10 more amazing rules from Dan Lok, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The more you give energy to something, the more you attract those things and those circumstances into your life. You know what, that 5 years, yes, I was working my face off.